Alright, welcome back YouTube viewers. This is video 3 on Tinker's Construct. This is the tutorial for the smeltery alloys and starting to make the weapons and tools. So, what we're going to do today is basically, this is a little bit bigger smeltery. I'm going to show you basically alloys and how to get started with the casting basins and things like that. Alright, so this is my typical setup for a smeltery at first. I don't usually bother even making the tiny one. I don't really like the tiny one. I usually go straight for this one. Now, if you notice, when I right click on this one, it doesn't have a whole lot of spots to melt stuff. However, if I come over to this one and I right click, lots more places. By the way, you can put blocks in here, and you can shift and single click, and it's not melting because there's no lava. There we go. They will take a little longer to melt, right? But they'll give you the full amount. So this will give me 999 of iron. So that's very, very helpful. Right? Now, moving on to the big smeltery. Right? This big smeltery has seared glass in it. I mentioned last episode, or one of the last episodes, that seared glass is good because when the smelteries get this tall, they do start to spawn mobs inside of them if they do not have light. And you don't really want to be putting torches inside of the smeltery, so it's just best to put some of these seared glass for windows. Right? I usually do like one side almost full, and then just kind of make it like this. You can set this up any way you want. You can make it in any way, shape, whatever. You can make the entire thing glass if you want, as long as you have the basic pieces on the bottom, which is the smeltery controller and the seared tank. The drains and everything else can be on any level as long as it's this shape. You'll notice, by the way, I do have 2 seared tanks here. When these smelteries get to this point, they usually need a boatload of lava. And basically what I can do is I can just fill both of these. Right? So, first thing we're going to do is we need some way to make, oops, I lost the cast. We need some way to make casts. Alright, this is what allows us to pour the metal out of the smeltery and into cast form. Alright, now I poured that one into an ingot cast, right, but that's not necessarily the ones you're always going to use. You may want to make a pickaxe head. You might want to make a tool binding or a rod. Oops. Creative. So if we do that, you can pour these at the same time. I'll heat it up. One there. And boop. There we go. Alright. So that's how you use the casts. We have the iron items. So now, how do we make the casts? It's actually really, really simple. What you have to do first is you have to make a stone version of the cast you want to create. So, for example, if I want to make a pickaxe head, let's see what we got here. Or, let's see, I'll grab an arrowhead for right now. Okay. I've got an arrowhead here. I'm going to go over to this other side of the smeltery. I'm going to put this on the table. Now, to do this, you need one of 2 things. You need aluminum brass or gold. Typically, I just do aluminum brass. Alright, it's really easy to make. I click right here. It is 3 aluminum to 1 copper melted inside the smeltery. Alright, so if I take these here, and I put this inside the smeltery, when it's done smelting up, it's going to make me more aluminum brass. These casts only take 1 brass to cast. Right. So for example, I'm going to come over here. We've got my arrowhead. By the way, smeltery controller. You notice I have 2 liquids in here. I didn't know this for a really long time. If you right click on the liquid, it's going to, or left click, I guess you can do both. It's going to put that liquid at the bottom. When that copper melts, that'll turn into aluminum brass. The liquid on the bottom is the one that's going to pour out first. So I'm going to put the aluminum brass on the bottom and right click. And now, there we go. Basically what I did was I poured the metal around the stone piece and the metal is set, and now I have a cast that I can then do this. Put the iron, see how it made me more aluminum? Iron in the bottom. Oh, rain, not cool. Now, pour the iron out and make an iron arrowhead. Right? This is the basic function for all metal in Tinker's construct, starting with iron. Right? Very simple process. Now, again, stone arrowhead, it's one material cost, so it used one piece of iron out of here. You'll notice I now have 19 iron. Right? Pretty simple. I usually put a pattern chest right by my smeltery eventually, because this usually ends up holding my casts. And then this way I can pull the casts out and just pop them into the table whenever I need them. Now, the fun part about this, the tool forge. Alright, there we go. Oop, not the right one. Oop. There it is. Okay. The tool forge is the fun part. Alright, once I've poured out all the pieces I need and all the metals I want to use for my items, I come over to the tool forge. And this is where I actually take the pieces and put everything together and make the items. So let's say, for example, I would like to make one of these hammers, 3x3 effect. I'm just going to take the cobalt hammer, and take the rod and 2 plates, and there we go. I have my brand new hammer. Right, same deal with the lumber axe. I want to make the lumber axe. Right, all of these require different pieces. Once you play this for a little while, once you get used to it, you'll know what pieces you need for all of these. Alright, so now I have 3 new really cool tools. I'll put them on my hotbar for a second here. I'll do the excavator first. So the excavator, it's going to excavate 3x3 around the center block. Let me just set this on peaceful because I just heard a slime. Oh, that's weird. I swore I heard a slime. So, around the center block, 3. That was an instant because obviously I'm in creative. Let's not do that. There we go. Try that again. There we go. Now we have 3x3. This makes clearing out areas for, underground bases, etc., extremely convenient. Makes it really, really easy. Now, if we got some stone, not do it this way. Nope. Oh, right, creative. There we go. Alright, let's just say, for example, oh, see that little palm craft node? There we go. That's image down. Now, let's say that I come to an area with stone. Hammer. Center block takes all 3 around it. Alright. And then the lumber axe basically does the same thing. Let's see what we've got. Bone meal. I think I need more than that. Change the trees to need multiple. Alright. It's not a terribly large tree, but let's turn creative off this time. It does take a little while to cut down the trees, but look at that. Instant leaf destruction, instant everything destruction, and I got lots of saplings from it. Alright. Load this up again. Okay. Now, let's say I've got my nice weapons. Let's just throw together the hammer again really quick. Alright. You saw when I was using them, they were taking durability. I really like these. I don't want them to go away. So what I can do is I put the hammer in here. I can do one of a couple things. I can take a ball of moss and I can put that on there, and that gives it auto repair. I can put another one on there. It stacks, so you can do up to auto repair too. So if I wanted to, I can put moss on there. Right? Maybe I need some more durability out of it. I can add an emerald. The emerald is going to add on 50% durability. Right, so if you take a look on the durability on the right hand side, 11.6k goes down to 7.7. Right, so really nice to have the emeralds. In mod packs, emeralds are usually dropping from the sky pretty much. At least I noticed that with my mod pack. So emeralds are a nice way to buff the items. Diamond will also increase the durability, but it's mostly used to raise the mining level. It's only going to raise the durability by 500, like just a straight 500, so you'll see that it doesn't do as much as emerald. Diamond is usually good if you want to make a tool with Tinkerer's Construct that will mine things that diamond normally would. So for example, instead of using 3 diamonds on a diamond pickaxe, a vanilla diamond pickaxe, you could make, I don't know, a netherrack pickaxe or an iron pickaxe with Tinkerer's Construct, and then put 1 diamond on it, and you'll get that effect. You'll see on the right hand side the mining level is cobalt on this one because this is a really high level hammer, but it doesn't raise it because the diamond just raises up the level to whatever diamond would normally do. Now you see here mining speed also. You can increase this by one of 2 ways. You can either put redstone on it, which is going to add 1 of 50, or you can put a block on it, which is going to basically do 9 at a time. Alright. You have a limited amount of modifiers on these devices. I'm going to use the shift button to show you here. If you take a look, this has 3 modifiers remaining. It's the last line on the bottom of this there. Alright. Again, these tooltips are by Squeaky502. Alright, so if you want these for your Tinkerer's Construct, grab his mod. It is amazing. Highly recommended if you love Tinkerer's Construct. Or even if you're new to it, because it helps you figure out the effective durability and how many modifiers and how much exact damage it does, etc. Color codes everything, so it looks really nice too. But yeah, so basically, right, this has a mining speed of 9. If I put some more of this on here, it'll slowly go up. Right. You can also put lapis on items. Lapis is going to basically eventually give you the luck, quote unquote, or fortune effect. Right, so you can also do the same thing with the blocks versus the straight item. It'll also add on 9. Notice the lapis can go a lot higher, up to 450. I believe you can get up to fortune 2 or 3 on Tinkerer's weapons, but honestly, when it gets to that level, it's awesome. You get tons and tons of cool stuff. So yeah, follow moss, auto repair. That's not for that really. Well, it can be. If you wanted to, you can put a lava crystal on here, and you notice it makes a lava modifier. Basically, what this is auto smelt. So, for example, if I'm doing, stone, instead of making cobblestone, it'll make actual stone. If I'm mining ores with it, instead of, giving me the ore block, it'll give me the ingot. It's good and it's bad. If you like the auto smelt functionality, lava crystal is awesome. I don't happen to like it because I do ore doubling all the time, so I don't use lava crystals. Now, this is cool. Instead of doing the ball of moss, which is going to slowly repair your item over time, you can do the leadstone energy cell instead if you have thermal expansion installed. Basically what this does is this adds quote-unquote flux to the item. Instead of taking durability, if you look underneath where it says hammer up at the top there, right between stonebound and hammer, it's a 0 of 400 RF. This is redstone flux. You can basically turn the Tinkerer's Construct tool into a power tool. So instead of taking durability, it takes RF off of the tool. Okay, you can do this by either putting a leadstone energy cell or a hardened flux capacitor. I tend to just make this one. It's an easy recipe. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay, well that's great. Now I have flux on the item. How am I supposed to actually charge said item? There it is. If you have thermal expansion installed and you get the flux ability, you will have the energetic infuser. The energetic infuser will take the Tinkerer's Construct tools and will charge them. This has no power right now, so it's obviously not going to charge it, but I just wanted to show you so you know what item to use to charge your new shiny power tool. Alright. The last one, let me put the, actually I can put it down here. Okay. I've used one of the modifiers, so you see I have 2 remaining. Okay. I can put Silky on here if I wanted to. Right. Silky is not compatible with lava crystal, by the way. Some of these won't stack, and it'll basically tell you that it won't stack by it won't show up over here. Silky will give you the quote-unquote silk touch effect. Alright, this is Silk Touch for Tinker's Construct tools. Since the Tinker's Construct tools can't be enchanted by normal means, MDIO had to add a way to actually give you the, quote-unquote enchants for the weapons, and that is by adding the Silky Jewel. The Silky Jewel is very easy to make. Go back to my inventory for a second. There we go. Nope, not what I wanted to do. It's okay. It is 4 silk cloth around an emerald. And silk cloth is very simple. String around an aluminum brass nugget, or string around a gold nugget, or golden oreberry, which are from Tinker's Construct. And that is the basics of tools. Weapons are a little bit more complicated. I load up another thing for weapons. Alright, weapons are basically, they have a couple more things you can put on them. I'm going to make broadsword. Yep. So I'm going to make a broadsword really quick. Grab that guy. Alright. Broadsword, there you go, can have a couple different things on them. They can have emeralds, right, just like the tools can. It's going to have the same effect. They can have diamonds, except along with the durability, it's also going to raise the attack, I believe. Yeah, it's kind of, it raises the durability. It doesn't really do much, honestly. There are necrotic bones that wither skeletons will now drop, thanks to Tinker's Construct. This will give the necrotic effect, which is lifesteal. Really cool. I like putting that on my weapons. Blaze powder will give you the fiery effect on the weapon, and basically it's flame touch. 1, 2, 3, whatever. You can stack it up to 25. By the way, you can stack these past their maximum, but if you start stacking them past their maximum, it's going to use up another modifier. So unless you have a weapon that has a lot of modifiers on it, which you can do, I wouldn't necessarily recommend stacking them like that. You can put redstone on some weapons, you can't put them on broadswords, unfortunately. You can put lapis on it, and it gives you looting. Right, basically is what that is for swords. You can put moss on it, if you really wanted to. Auto repair. You can also put the leadstone energy cells on it. I'm going to put charge on there this time. And you notice that it gives me a charged weapon. Right? You can put those on there instead of the durability. Really cool. Alright, one of the other ones, two of the other ones, actually a couple, that are unique to weapons. If you take obsidian and an ender pearl, you can get beheading. This has a chance to behead. Alright, again, if you have the improved tooltips, which I highly recommend, you can see the beheading chance. Alright, typically just one effect of this gives you 10%. With the exception of this awesome tool, which is the cleaver, and that has a natural 20%. And then you can put this on top of it, and it gives you a 30% chance, which is awesome. Next thing you can put on weapons is nether quartz. You can either put on the raw quartz, or you can put on blocks of quartz. And basically what this does is if you put enough on there, it will raise the attack on the weapon. You notice I put 1 on there, and it already raised it by 0.5. That's what I would have before. That's what I'd have after. Alright, so quartz is really cool. The last one that you can put on here, not the last one, but the one typically that I use, is piston. And you will get knockback. You can put up 10 pistons on it to get up to knockback 2, I believe. Alright, there are some other ones. Bane of Arthropods, Smite, you can get them through the books. I'm not going to go over them. They're not really that common. I personally would not waste a modifier slot on it unless you're making like a specific zombie killing weapon, which you totally can, by the way. I mean, the hammer naturally has smite on it, so if you put smite on top of that, you'll get twice as much damage. They're really cool. But anyhow, moving on, you can also make bows with Tinker's Construct. There are really only 2 options for string, and one of these options only shows up if you have Thaumcraft. These are the enchanted bowstrings, which is the enchanted fabric from Thaumcraft. I am going to use the enchanted. Actually, no, I'm not going to this time. I'll use regular string. Right. The short bow is a little bit different. This is one of the weapons that you can put redstone on. Alright, and what it's going to do for the weapon is it's going to decrease the draw speed. As you'll see, the draw speed right now is 2. I go over here, 1.95. Every 9 applications of redstone, or every 1 application of redstone of 9, will give you about 0.5. Right? Not terribly great, but faster than, you know. There's other stuff you can't put these on. You can put the necrotic, you can put the bow on there. I don't think you can put this directly. Oh, you can put it directly on the bow. Okay. Typically, you have to put it on the arrows. There's a couple other things you can put on the bows. I wonder if you can put looting on there in a second. I do really do want to check that. Yeah, you can. Also, these effects stack. If you want a one specific effect, like let's say I like how the bow looks when quartz is on top, just make sure that you put on whatever you want first. So like, let's say I want to put lapis on there. And then if I put quartz on top, oops, wrong way. You'll see the quartz kind of goes over the lapis. So just keep that in mind if you're making weapons for yourself, if you like a particular look of something. The last thing we're going to go over is arrows. Right, arrows need an arrowhead, they need a tool rod, and they need some type of fletching. There are only 4 types of fletching you can make. You can only use them for use feathers. You can use blue slime. You can use green slime, and you can use leaves. There's some debate as to which ones are the best, which ones are good to use with what combinations. It's up to you. Honestly, I'd say experiment a little bit. This recipe gives you 4. Okay, it's not going to give you a whole lot. However, you can take these 4 and you can put things on them. You can put quartz on them. You can make fire arrows with them. You can make necrotic arrows with them. I wonder... Yes, you can make beheading arrows with them. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I didn't know you could do that one. Let's see. I don't think you can... No redstone this time around. No lapis either. That goes on the bow itself. But yeah, so you can see. I don't think the pistons... No, pistons don't go on. I wonder if the pistons will go on to the... Yes, piston will. So you can do knockback on a bow. It looks ridiculous. Some of these look silly. Some of them look really neat. Some of them look silly. But yeah, so that's basic weapons for you right there. By the way, when you do use the bow, you will only be able to use this bow with Tinker's Construct arrows. So if you have any intentions of using this, it may be the default graphic, but it's Tinker's Construct bows. See? It used the bow out of my inventory, but because I'm in creative, it didn't use it. I'll show you. It's my tank. Sucker. Alright. And then pick it back up. I can't pick that one up because I fired it in creative, so it doesn't actually exist. But if you're going to make the bow and the arrows, I would be pretty diligent about picking these back up afterwards. That's just me, though. You know, if you have a lot of resources and you want to spend them on arrows, have at it. So there you go. That's the full tutorial for Tinker's Construct. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments on the video. I will be more than happy to answer them. Also, if you'd like links to the debate on arrows and short bows and things, I'd be more than happy to link that as well. And if you liked this video, if it helped you and you thought it was awesome, please feel free to link and subscribe. That would be awesome. Link it, share it, socialize it, you know, and then of course like it on YouTube. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed this tutorial on Tinker's Construct, and hope to see you for the next mod tutorial. Take it easy.